What is going on, everybody? It's coming back at you with another video, and today we are doing a tier maker list with the offensive lines. So I'm not going to be able to rank each individual offensive lineman. That'd be kind of ludicrous with the fact that there is um how many we got at least 5 offensive linemen plus swing tackles and shit on 32 teams. That's gonna be around 160 plus. So I'm not really in the mood to do that. So here's kind of the best way to consolidate it all into one. I was a little bit excited when I saw this list because, why the fuck not, right? Um, so I am not going to be looking really too heavily into the COVID opt-outs because the only one I know of right now is for the Pats with Marcus Cannon, and I can't even see where the hell the Pats logo is here, but right there. Um, we'll only take Marcus Cannon into account because I'm pretty sure there are other ones, but um, oh yeah, like Nate Solder as well. So you know what, guys, we are going to be keeping all the guys who opted out. We're going to be keeping them in on this one just because I don't want to be saying some teams are worse than others if some COVID opt outs are still playing right now. So starting off with the Buffalo Bills, I think the Bills have a solid offensive line. So they have Ty Nsekhe there. That's one of my favorite signings that I've ever seen. I know they have Daryl Williams. I know they have Deion Dawkins, Mitch Morse. I don't really remember who they have at left guard, but overall, the Bills line, whenever I watch them, they never look like a liability. They might even move up to good because I'm going to try to utilize the trash feature just to give them a little bit more of a variability. But the Bills definitely are solid, if not good, offensive line core. Just no huge flashy names besides Deion Dawkins on the offensive line. Next, the Dolphins. You guys are okay. Well, there we go. I love how it's laggy, but there we go. We got our first trash. They're just complete garbage, guys. There's no real way to get around it. I mean, it. They're working on it, man. Austin Jackson in the first round's a great start. I think they have Robert Hunt in the second, but they need a lot more than that. I mean, like Michael Dieter was a starter last year, and it was an absolute abomination. I don't even know who the fuck's gonna play right tackle. They brought in who is that? Eric Flowers. It's just they need some help, guys. They need some help. I think that if they just continue to develop that offensive line, it is going to be an excellent place for Tua to start working. But please, Tua, opt out for COVID because I think that's just he needs the rest, especially with how shit the offensive line is. The Jets, they are below average. I would be putting them in trash if they did not sign the high upside Mekhi Becton. So I know they just brought in Jermaine Ifedi as well, and I mean they brought back their two starting guards, and it's not the greatest. Their offensive line is pretty trash, but I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. I've hated on the Jets a lot. The Pats have a pretty good offensive line. Um, Again, we're not counting Marcus Cannon out. If he is out, I'm gonna be putting him below average because you lose a starting tackle. That's a huge fucking loss. So, um, obviously, I'm gonna be putting him here with Marcus Cannon. You have Tooney there. You have Andrews. You have Mason. You have Cannon. You have Isaiah Wynn, but they haven't really done too much. And you have the fastest passing quarterback in the NFL no longer, but I really have to see how they are because I think their stats say they're elite to the best, but I really need to see how they work. I really do. Honestly, I'm going to be putting them here in elite just because of Marcus Cannon. Like, they don't have a single liability on that offensive line. It's just none of them are the best. So, good job by them. And then again, oh, there's another one. Jawan James just opted out as of like 2 hours ago or something. So, I'm going to be keeping Jawan James in. I think the Broncos are a good offensive line. They have Jawan James there. They have Garrett Bowles, who's not the greatest, but it's okay. I'm pretty sure they have Lyle Collins, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and they have all kinds of pieces that are quite solid. If I'm gonna be completely honest, definitely no extreme liabilities that they need to fix ASAP. Speaking of things that they need to fix ASAP, I mean, I don't really like it when the Chargers trade their left tackle and Russell Okung for Try Turner. So I'm going to be putting him here in below average, the top of below average. Yeah, they got Rick Wagner, if I'm not mistaken. No, they got Brian Bulaga. And they have Trey Turner. But, I mean, their starting left tackle is a complete mess. You guys should see the names. I've never even heard of them before. and then starting I believe at right guard or left guard, whatever guard that. Oh, wait, no, Try Turner I believe is a right guard. So starting at left guard, it's a fucking shit show. And then they have Pouncey at the center, so it's below average because they have a couple good pieces, but man, they're either getting old or else and then they have some real dumpster fire. The Chiefs, they're definitely ranking this elite territory. Like they have some definite solid pieces. You have Mitchell Schwartz, and they have just a multitude of good offensive linemen. And I mean, I guess you can count Laurent Duvernay Tardif in here, even though he opted out. But they also just signed. Shoot, I'm forgetting his name, and he was on the Raiders. I know that one of my subs is going to comment about it because his name's Daniel Lopez. He's a very avid Raiders fan, so appreciate always the insight from you. But shoot, I'm very surprised I forgot his name. He used to be so good. Kaliji Osemele. There we go. Kaliji Osemele. So that was a brilliant deal by the Chiefs, and they just have a solid offensive line, man. There's nothing really that makes them the best of the best, but they're pretty solid. Raiders, y'all are just getting older, so I'm gonna be putting you ahead of the Broncos. Honestly, I'm not even that comfortable with the Broncos being up here. You have Colton Miller there. You have Gabe Jackson. You still have Rodney Hudson. You have Richie Incognito as well. It's a very good line. The problem is you're getting old. So we have to see how age is affecting this offensive line, and Colton Miller's starting to come into his own. So it's a good job that he was able to learn under Donald Penn, but he needs to step it up. Bengals, you guys have a dumpster fire offensive line. Jonah Williams is your hope of your future, but I mean, Cordy Glenn was having to take a lot of snaps at the position that Jonah was supposed to be at. I'm pretty sure they had like 3 or 4 guys who took 130 snaps at least at his position, and that's not good. That's not good. And Cordy Glenn's solid, but I mean, he hasn't really been one of those high tier, upper echelon tackles in the NFL anymore. And I'm not really sure. Like, there's not too much else. They have like Billy Price and Michael Jordan from Ohio State trying to battle a guard, and they had like 40 PFF grades. It's a shit show, guys. They really need to get their head and ass wired together. So, pretty garbage, but again, Jonah Williams is their savior. They need him badly. Browns, I'm going to be putting them up here in the best of the NFL. So, they do still have some very big holes, but they basically just swapped out their tackle duo from one of the worst to one of the best with Jedrick Wills and Jack Conklin. Excellent option. They still have, I think, Chris Hubbard on the roster. Don't quote me on that. But even if they do, he's a great swing tackle. As a Steelers fan, I know that he's very solid overall. And I'm pretty sure they still have Zeitler there. Oh, wait, no. Zeitler was the one who went to New York. Batonio, I believe, is the one who is still in Cleveland, and they're dealing with... I keep forgetting their center's name. I think it's Corey Linsley. I'm not really 100% sure, but they have a solid-ass offensive line, and it's very similar to the Patriots. I can't disrespect the Patriots like that. I got to put them up here in the lead. They have no holes, really. They're just not really performing to their best capabilities. But the Browns, they just have higher upside than the Pats, just based on the fact that Pats, they're kind of getting older, even though Shaq Mason and Joe Tooney are still like 26, 27. Whatever. Ravens, they're going to be up here in the elite category. They have some pretty solid linemen, but the only reason why I'm putting them here, they lost their best asset in Marshall Yanda, and they're not really filling it with too much besides DJ Fluker, which I think is a big downside. We have the Steelers. Steelers, I'm going to be putting them up here in the same category. We're filling Wisniewski in for Ramon Foster. And Filer has become a top 15 tackle in the NFL, according to PFF. So, I mean, he's been doing a pretty damn good job, and the guys are getting older, but you still have one of the best overall offensive line units in the NFL. Now, the Colts, this is uncontested number 1. I don't need to go over this. They're keeping their entire offensive line from last year, and they are absolutely amazing. Jags, I got to put them up here in solid, right around this territory. Andrew Norwell, Brandon Linder, you have Jawan Taylor. You have a lot of options there, and it's very solid overall, but they need to continue to develop, man. And newsflash, Gardner Minshew just opted out for COVID-19, so even more tank for Trevor. So, what? Okay, Houston Texans, I got to be putting him up here at the bottom of solid. They just brought in one of the best tackles, paid him $22 million a year, 2 first rounders as well. Big deal. So um, I think that that's going to be huge, and they just still have a bunch of question marks on the other parts of their line, and it's kind of it's okay. There really isn't that much more to say. They have a solid tackle. That's the only reason why they're being put here, and at least he's a blind side. So they have the most valuable offensive lineman. Tennessee's going to be up here at good. I'm thinking about putting him right here at elite, but we don't know what Isaiah Wilson's going to be yet, and if Kelly can handle the tackle position or Wilson. So we'll see how that goes. Cowboys, I'm putting them still up here in the elite category. I'm going to be putting them right here behind the Ravens. They lost Frederick, and that's a huge loss. Otherwise, they'd be up here in the best. But they do have guys who can fit in, and Connor Williams needs to continue developing if they're going to be willing to continue to be the elite line of the NFL. But I think they have it. Now, Eagles, I'd be putting them up here into the best or elite, but they just lost arguably the best lineman in the NFL. So I'm going to be putting him at the top of good. You lost your right guard, and that's huge. You lost Jason Peters, that's huge. You lost 2 pieces of your best linemen, and that is... They still have some great offensive lineman pieces there, but, man, they lost a big chunk of that offensive line. But they still have some very good talent there. New York, again, not counting out COVID-19, because if I was, then New York would be closer to trash. But New York's going to be here at the top of good as well. Honestly, I'm going to be putting them, I'll put them right here behind the Eagles. Now that they have a great 2-tackle system, they still have Zeitler there. Got it this time. The center's the big issue. They have Will Hernandez as well. Honestly, guys, I'm moving them into elite, and I think they're better than... Honestly, I'm putting them right about here. No, I'm putting them right here in this elite category. They literally just need a center, and that's it. They have Hernandez. He's awesome. Zeitler, great. Solder, solid. Thomas, awesome. Now, the Redskins, I'm going to be putting them in trash, guys. I think that they are the second worst in the NFL. Scherf is the only thing they really have left at this point, and it's unfortunate. I don't really want to talk about it anymore. It's okay, they're not the Redskins. They're the Washington football team. I really think they should be called the Red Tails. That's an awesome name. Keeps it very simple, very close to what they used to be, as well as very respectful in general to other minorities, if that's what they're going for. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, their offensive line, I'm going to be putting them up here in this elite territory. Honestly, I'm dropping the Chiefs down to good. They have one of the best tackles, but again, it's questionable whether they are elite. No, I got to give them elite. They have 2 of the best tackles in the NFL, like the best tackle duos, and that's really what matters to me. But we're talking about the Bucs now. Bucs, you got Marpet, you have Dotson left, but their other tackle is doing very solid, and then they also have Tristan Wirfs, who I think is going to be a baller. They're doing a great job here in Tampa, especially with Tom Brady releasing the ball. They're going to look as if they're top of the NFL. Now, Atlanta's below average. It's like you have Mitchell Schwartz and Alex Mack, and that's pretty much it. They missed on all their draft picks. Like, Lindstrom is not doing too well. And then I don't even know who the fuck else they got out of Washington. Like, I think his name's McGarry. So, yeah, not a fucking vibe in Atlanta. I'm sorry. Carolina, you got Okung, and that is a huge thing for me. They have pieces there, very young pieces as well. And, honestly, I'm going to be putting them here at the top of below average. They're about the same as Atlanta. They're just, there's not too much to say. Honestly, they're not that great. Now the Saints are up here at the top of the NFL, especially when they got Cesar Ruiz basically filling in their one vacancy. They're challenging for number 1. Teron Armstead is a beast. Ramchick's a beast. They're doing great. The Bears are at the solid right now. Honestly, you have Whitehair, you have James Daniels, you have Massey and Leno. That makes me want to put them right about here. But I mean, Leno was doing all right. He dropped off a lot, and Massey isn't the greatest in the world, and you just lost Long. So, it's a little bit iffy there in Chicago, but they can make it work. The Lions, you lost Rick Wagner. That's kind of a big deal. So I'm going to be putting him right here. It's just Taylor Decker, to me, isn't the greatest tackle in the world. He's still solid, but a little overrated. And overall, that line is not the world, like not the best. Next, the Vikings. They're keeping 4 out of the 5 of their guys, and I think Brian O'Neill is still there. So I'm going to be putting him at the top of solid. They're a solid offensive line. That's all I can say. Now the Packers, they lost Brian Bulaga, but they still have one of the best tackles in the NFL. They have Elton Jenkins in there. They're okay. They're okay. They're still pretty damn good. Niners, they're going to be up here in some of the best territory. They signed one of the top tackles in the NFL. Again, this is not taking in injuries because obviously, I mean, this is taking in former injuries, just not whether guys are injury prone. So Trent Williams, if he's healthy, excellent. McGlinchey, solid. They just have a bunch of little options there, and they're doing perfectly fine. They did a very good job. Cardinals, I'm much more of a fan of this team. I'm going to be putting them at the top of good. I don't think they're a top 10 offensive line in the NFL because DJ Humphries to me isn't a top 10 tackle. But honestly, yeah, I'm going to be putting them right here. It's a solid overall offensive line, especially since they just added an infusion of youth. They have DJ Humphries. You got Josh Jones there, Marcus Gilbert. They have a solid offensive line, guys, and it's just developmental as well. Rams, yeah, you're right here. Complete ass. Blythe, garbage. Havenstein just completely ate shit. Whitworth is literally about to die. It's just not good. And the Seahawks, I mean, we're ending off with a bunch of trash here, but man, they were just garbage. And they just lost Affetti as well, so I don't really know what to say, guys. They only have one good option, and it's one solid tackle. Similar to the Panthers, but I think Panthers have a better overall line in general because they also, I forgot the guy's name. They have Moton as well, but I keep forgetting the guy's name. Greg Little. They got him last year. Fat ass, pretty much ran like a 6.0 40-yard dash, but it's okay. But yeah, sorry to end off with such a bad note, but I mean, this division has pretty ass lines. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the far side. Peace.